So we just had another church shooting. This time it's in Texas, in a town by the name of Sutherland Springs. There's something like 1,000 people that live in that town, right? So, I grew up in a small town of like a few hundred people when I was younger, and if there was a shooting that killed close to 30 people in that town, I couldn't imagine how that would have affected that whole fucking town for how long and for how many years. So the guy who did this came in, killed fucking children, women, children, men, just people, innocent people. And he wasn't even from that town, apparently. We don't know much about him yet. But from what I heard, he wasn't from that town. Maybe I'm wrong. But, he just went in there and killed them indiscriminately from what we know of so far. We don't know if he had a vendetta against them or anything like that. But, like, it's just fucking insanity that somebody would choose a church to do that in. Like, that's just the worst place. Like, other than maybe a child's hospital or something, like, there's almost no worse place you can go to kill people. It just baffles me that people could do this, right? But I see a lot of people on Twitter right now, a lot of the blue check marks, people on the left politicizing this, which I don't necessarily have a problem with politicizing certain deaths, etc., because I do believe there should be some change that comes after them. But, they're just hypocrites when they're talking about the New York City attack with the Muslim terrorists. Like, don't politicize this, don't politicize this. Then immediately, 5 minutes after this, gun control, gun control. And, like, literally, people on the left right now, and some people on the right as well, are just using these attacks to take away as many of your rights as humanly possible. So instead of more gun control, the solution to these types of things is less gun control. That's what it is. I know you don't want to believe it, and it's hard for a lot of people to grasp. But if one or two people had a gun in that place, and they weren't shot first, right? Maybe the pastor even had one, or a couple people, then they could have prevented way more deaths. Maybe one or two people would have died. Maybe just he would have died. Maybe more would have died. But in my guess, I believe less people would have died. More people would have been saved. The last church shooting that happened a couple months ago, it was stopped by a guy who also had a gun, right? So guns work. And people can tout all of these statistics, like 30,000 people die every year in America from guns, but 2/3 of that is suicides, and the rest of that is gang violence. So it's not guns which are the issue, it's gangs and people killing themselves. It's not guns which are the issue, okay? So banning them and putting more restrictions is not going to do anything, because criminals, we all know criminals do not follow law. That's why they're called criminals. They will get guns from another state, etc. They'll make them themselves. They'll get a hold of them. And then the only people who are not going to have them are innocent people who are going to be butchered and massacred whenever some criminal does want to come and just butcher people indiscriminately, right? So, like, removing more things from us, taking away our freedoms, is not going to help us. Like, I even saw, after that New York City attack, an article from BuzzFeed said they were legitimately saying they should ban big trucks from all cities and should move away from cities that have vehicles because of terrorism. Like, really? For like a year now, I've been making fun of that, like, satirically. Been like, oh, let's ban cars. Liberals are going to come out and ban cars because they're so dumb. But now they're actually saying it. They actually want to do that. It's like, they want to take everything away instead of giving you more rights to defend yourself. Like, you cannot depend on the government to save you, because they will not. The government is what creates the situations which put you in danger, right? They're the ones that create problems and then come in and say, hey, we're going to fix it for you. The media and the government are the ones that stoke up these types of things to happen. and then they happen, and then they come in later on. They're the ones who go in to the Middle East and these countries and start wars and put your children in fucking jeopardy, and then help radicalize more people, right, to come over, and then you need them even more. So, or they'll take away your guns, right, and then now you rely on them 100% to protect you. And hopefully you're not in a neighborhood which they don't like to patrol, or which they don't like to even show up, because sometimes they don't even fucking show up, right? So what would be better, waiting 30 minutes for some guy to come and kill you, rape your kids, and then the cops come in as the guy escaped already and is gone? Pretty much what has happened here, where the guy was on a car chase afterwards and was like escaping, right? That's insanity. So, we need to learn. We need to switch our tactics on how these attacks happen. Instead of saying like, oh, we're going to go about our merry way, it's like, yeah, we should still still live life like we normally do. But the only difference that we need to make is empower people to protect themselves. That's it. And then we won't need a police state. We won't need the FBI. We won't need the NSA looking through all of our shit, spying on us, right? The best thing we could do is take more power into our own hands and reduce the power of the government. Reduce the power that these people have to go to create situations which put you in harm's way. And then they take away your only means of defense, because we don't know who this guy was yet. But, who knows who he was, how he was radicalized. Maybe he was just some crazy lunatic to begin with, and he was going to do this anyways. We don't know yet. But taking away rights is never the solution. Never is. And it will never be the solution. Okay? That is always just a way for the government to control you even more. Just remember that. They don't care about necessarily protecting you. They want you to be dependent upon them. That's what it is. The more you're dependent upon them, the more they can control you. So we need to just disassociate ourselves from this and rely on ourselves more. And attacks like these will be greatly diminished. Or when they do happen, less people will be killed because that guy will be shot in the face immediately by a good guy. And most people are good. This is a fact. I know a lot of people say no, and this and that. But no, most people are good. Whatever race they are, white, black, whatever religion they are, Muslim, Christian, most people are good. Even Muslims. Don't listen to people like Laura Loomer, who goes in and says like, oh, these people they're all the same. Fuck you. That's very stupid to do. It's not smart. Okay? And if people were all evil and bad, like some people try to convince you they are, then there would be way more death and destruction on the earth right now. We wouldn't be moving towards being a more peaceful society. Yes, there are some backtracks. Sometimes we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But oftentimes we are moving, we are progressing. So, that's all I pretty much had to say about this. And gun control is not the option. It is more guns and less restrictions on your rights. But that's all I pretty much had to say. And like I said, hopefully more children die, or just more people are not killed later on, like that are in right now critical condition, because I don't want this to go up to 35, 40. This is insanity. Things like this need to stop. And like I said again, the government isn't going to do it for you. The only people who are going to do this, the only people who are going to protect you, is yourself. That's the only person you can rely on, is yourself, your family, and your friends. That's it. So have a good day, I guess, if you can.